Now let's look into the process of development of human fetus and also the process of fertilization. Fertilization can happen when one out of millions of sperms succeeds in penetrating the secondary oocyte, and this process happens in the fallopian tube. And this is followed by changes to the secondary oocyte's membrane, which then prevents the penetration from other sperms. Thus, fertilization occurs when the nucleus of the sperm fused with the nucleus of the ovum to form diploid zygote 2N. Okay, so this is the unfertilized secondary oocyte, okay, which is being released into the fallopian tube. And then many of these sperms, okay, you see here about 300 to 500 sperms successfully reached secondary oocyte in the fallopian tube. So there's a lot still, but then only one is able to penetrate into the secondary oocyte. Once one of the sperms managed to penetrate, successful in penetrating the secondary oocyte, the membrane of the secondary oocyte changes, which then doesn't allow the other sperms to penetrate into that. So what happened to the single sperm which has successfully penetrated the secondary oocyte is that the nucleus which is inside this successful sperm is going to fuse with the nucleus of this secondary oocyte, thus forming the 2N diploid zygote. So when traveling down the fallopian tube, okay, fertilization already happened, traveling down the fallopian tube, that means all the way from the fallopian tube, and then it's heading to this uterus, okay, for implantation. So this zygote, during the journey of traveling down to the uterus, to the endometrial wall, it is undergoing multiple divisions through mitosis. So that's why the first cell division is going to produce two cell embryo. Okay, so multiple mitosis, 2N, from 2 cells becoming 4 cells, 8 cells, and then eventually a ball of cells known as morula. Okay, so this morula will transform into a blastocyst. This is the location here. Already reached the endometrium, and that this is the closed-up view that the blastocyst, and that you get to see this thickened blastocyst wall, which will eventually develop into embryo. So what happened here in the uterus is that the blastocyst is going to implant itself into the endometrium. Okay, just like pokok dia kena rooted into the soil, so same goes to the blastocyst, which needs to implant itself into the endometrium. So this process kita panggil penempelan ataupun implantation. Then what happened? This blastocyst continues to grow and eventually grow into an embryo fetus, and akan dilahirkan sebagai baby lah.